Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome to this balance patch review video. Yeah, the new balance patch just got out. I mean, it's gonna release in 2 weeks, but we have the preview right now. So we have all of those units. Yeah, realistically not only a few matters, but yeah, quite a few units this time with like a lot of specialty change units getting changed. And 2 artifacts. Okay, let's get started with Maid Chloe, who I think is like the biggest winner by far of the patch. Fumyr is pretty strong too, but yeah. So, her S1, she always pushes herself on S1 now. She still push everyone when she stuns, but that's very unlikely overall. So yeah, now she basically has 15% more speed overall, like that's basically what it does. After turn 1, obviously. So yeah, I mean a bit less because she has 2 S3, but yeah, it's just like more cycling, always nice. This is the crazy part. So basically they gave her FCC's S2. So now she reduces damage by units like Pera, Luna, Melkairons, Shu, etc. etc. That's insane because I mean the only reason you ever pick FCC is like because of that, and FCC is already seeing a decent amount of play. Now you can have it on a Soul Weaver. That's a lot better because now you can just pick Ilinav as your main knight, or like anything you want really, but mostly Ilinav. You can just go Ilinav Maid and then jerk off realistically. Like there isn't much your opponent can do. So yeah, this is crazy. Then her revive is now 30% HP. That's good. I mean that's a buff. So like nothing special, but still nice. And finally, the increased attack, which was completely irrelevant these days because almost everything self-attack buff, is turning into increased defense, which is extremely strong. So yeah, like 3 turns defense buff is absolutely huge. And it's -1 turn cooldown as well, which is really nice because if you make a fast maid, she's gonna like maid already has, I don't know, like fast maid was already pretty decent like maybe 5-10 seasons ago. Like I mean it was a while ago, like for sure, but like fast maid was already pretty annoying because she just cycles so much. You just like, I don't know, you just like heal everyone with your S2, you can stun potentially, and then you just like spam S3. It's really annoying. Now it's -1 turn cooldown and she gets increased cycling on top. Yeah, like I think she's gonna be really strong. Might be, I mean, yeah, I'm often wrong actually, but I think she's gonna be really strong. Like for me, Maid is like this is a very strong buff. And the constellation doesn't change much. It's just she loses her effectiveness and she gains 30 ER instead. I'm not sure she's gonna be built ER because overall she's still a fairly poor cleanser. She only removed 2 debuffs, so she's not exactly the type of unit you want to bring into debuffers. But yeah, I think you're just gonna build her fast and just like cycle and then like that's it really. So yeah, pretty good. I mean, really good buff overall. Hopefully she'll see play. I'll definitely try to play her. I'm fairly hopeful, but we'll see. Opsig. I don't like this buff at all overall. So now she's self-attack buff on S2. Which is, in my opinion, useless because you were using, like, if you played Opsig lately, you were using Wall of Order, which is overall a really strong artifact. It gave you Gab. This is only attack buff, and realistically, so you get to replace Wall of Order, but you get to replace it by what? That's kind of my issue. Like, I don't really feel like there's, like, much better overall. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really think there's like really anything of value to give her instead, which is kind of my issue. So yeah, now you get self-attack buff, like that doesn't really, yeah, okay, sure. But, and then you, like the penetration isn't a conditional anymore. It's always 100%, except now when the unit has a barrier, it deals increased damage. I'm gonna go on a limb and say she's gonna be completely useless. because that's basically, it's kind of like, I mean, it's pretty similar to Strays. Stray is already really hard to play, so yeah, like I'm really not seeing it honestly, unless they increase her damage by like a shit ton, which would make her completely broken. Yeah, I mean increase her damage, like unless they barely decrease her damage, basically. Like that's the more correct. Yeah, the more correct way to go about it. Unless they barely decrease her damage, which I highly doubt. I don't think she's gonna be very strong. Like, I really don't like this buff. I really don't like, because when you give attack buff to an unit, like it's part, it eats at their power budget, right? Which can be fine depending on the unit. The thing is, like, for instance, you give that to a warrior, it's kinda useless because you can just give them Tachi. And for Opsig, it's even more useless because I feel like Wall of Order was like so strong. And now we lose a greater attack buff for simply attack buff, and maybe like probably running like symbol or something. Like, I'm not even sure you gain damage. Meh. Yeah, I'm not a fan. S3 irrelevant realistically. Like, doesn't really change much. You get increased damage now, which is nice, but yeah, like doesn't really change much. Like the main, like the only relevant thing is RS2, which I don't think. I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see how much they decrease their damage. Maybe they barely do it, but yeah, I'm not really seeing it. LQC, so she's immune to debuff that prevent movement, which is stun, sleep, and fear, I'm pretty sure. I don't think that's nearly enough. She grants 20% damage reduction to her team and herself, which is okay. I mean, it's nice. It's not really why you would pick her, but sure. And then she gets CR pushed anytime someone in her team gets hit, which is really good. That's actually really good. Like, I'm pretty sure this is the same as Ilinav, but yeah, like this is really strong though. This is really strong. And then her S3, now you just always splash, which is nice, I guess. I don't know. Like, I don't really feel like this is nearly enough to make her good. Like, she can't really kill any dark units still. Like, the issue is like her multis are really bad. If you bring her into like FCC, if you bring her into like what's dark and meta right now, FCC, N-Guy, she can kill either. Peira, she's gonna miss. Like, yeah, she can't really kill anything. Her damage is just too bad overall. And then even after that, like, her kit isn't really like that crazy. And this is not actually that useful because this doesn't prevent like attack down, provoke, stuff like that. So you still do need a cleanser. So then what's the point? Like, I still need a cleanser, so you know. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not really sold on that. I mean, if it was, yeah, it should have been everything basically, because even you can't even play her into Tenebria because you can still get provoked. So yeah, meh. Don't think it's gonna be very relevant. Fumyr, attack the enemy, increase combat readiness of the ally with the highest combat readiness by 15%. Okay, sure. Instead of decreased attack, very nice. Yeah, so they're basically changing the way Fumyr works for RS2 works. Now she's a focus-based unit, which means you can pick her before 4-5 because, I mean, Solitaria exists, ML Politis exists, right? So you can pick her before 4-5, and now she gets 1 focus per element. That means, and 1 focus at the start of the turn. That means, I mean, if you want to, like, when you just read this, you're like, okay, that's pretty bad because now you need your entire team to be of different elements, right? Because you gain 1 at the start of the turn, so you need 4 extra. So you get 1 from Fumyr, and then you need 1 dark, 1 light, 1 earth, 1 fire to have 5 focus, and then useless 2, which is really hard, obviously. But then they're also changing RS3. Now it resets, which, I mean, sure, why not? Dispel 2 buffs, reset, sure. 2k extra damage per focus, so that's 10k with max focus, sure. But the main thing is you can now soul burn her for an extra turn. That means you just need two different elements. So like let's say a Fumyr, a dark unit, a light unit, that's enough. So that's, I mean, that's crazy realistically. Like you don't need anything. Because her debuffs, like the rest 2 is crazy good, right? Like it's a full strip, 100% chance 2 turns sleep, 85% chance 2 turn defense break. Like that's crazy strong. And since you can just soul burn, that means you just need to gain 2 focus per turn, which is only 2 different elements from hers, which is, I mean, it's ice, right? So yeah, like I need to draft 2 other elements than ice, and then GG. Yeah, like that's basically she's gonna be the new, she's gonna be another DDR Tenebria. Like you just like a crazy strong debuffer that you can just pick for 5 if your opponent hasn't really picked anything to counter them. Keep in mind, you can't even pick Engai against this. Like it is 2 turn sleep. Like I mean, you can pick Engai, but you have to go Sweet Miracle. Like that's so... No, actually, wait, you can't even pick Engai. She just resets him. Yeah, she's so strong. Holy shit. She's actually so strong. You can't even pick Laika. You can pick Engai. You can pick shit. You can pick Dilibet. She gets reset. Yeah. Yeah, she's gonna be a crazy strong 4-5 debuffer. It's kind of a shame though, because they're kind of killing... like, I mean, don't get me wrong. She wasn't playable, but she was still unique. Now she's not. Like now she's just like she's just another Tenebria, another DDR. Like just like a crazy broken debuffer that you pick for 5 because your opponent hasn't drafted like a cleanser that works into them, and then it's just a force ban every game because otherwise they're just playing for 15%. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's very, but I mean sure, why not? So yeah, we have a new DDR. Yay. Yay. Okay, Laika, she gives Gab when she has to now. Meh. Meh. Like, I don't know. Like, the issue with Laika is that you just have, like, much stronger openers now. Like, you have Lua, you have Cilias, you have Melpolitis, you have Peira, you have Amid, you have... Yeah. Like, even, like, this isn't enough. Like, it's nice, but it's not enough. And same from these dispel all buffs. So yeah, S2 can now full dispel all buffs instead of like this decreasing buff duration by 1 turn, which is okay, I guess. And you can just you can also change your S3 to reduce buff duration by 1 turn, which means immunity doesn't work. The issue is you're still weak to I mean, first of all, you're weak to getting outsped, and second of all, you're weak to 15%, right? Like if I S3, I just miss on like 1 or 2 units, which is very likely because there's no ignore ER. Meh. Meh. I don't know. I don't think it's enough. Like it's nice, but it makes her better. Like if you like her, you can play her. It's just she's still worse than like other options basically, because she's an opener and we already have so many broken openers that there's not much point to like her overall. Surin, now she gains vampirism when she goes into stealth. That means you don't need to build her lifesteal. Yeah, great, I guess. I don't know. Was Surin not played because she had to waste stats? She had to waste stats going lifesteal. No, she wasn't played because she's dog shit. Ah. Yeah, so that doesn't really change much. Honestly, like I feel like because I read all of those kits, and like the thing for me that like strikes me is I want ignore ER basically. Like Laika, sure, like give me ignore ER S3, I play her. You don't give me ignore ER on S3, I'm not playing her. Like it's just because I'm gonna press S3, like half the enemy team is gonna resist, so like this is unplayable. Surin, sure, like you can build like a really fast Surin. On Swordstorm, you can cut your opponent, press S3, and then you're gonna miss all your debuffs because you don't have ignore ER. So, yeah, I'm not really too keen on like all of those units, really. I get the idea, but yeah, you know. But yeah, Surin, basically you can just build her speed set really fast with like Sword Storm. Like I'm pretty sure that's the ID. You don't need, and she's still gonna be really sticky because she gets vampirism, but meh. Like I don't really feel like her kit does enough overall, so what can you do? Lorina is actually interesting. I think I think I'm gonna try to play her at the very least. So basically they're giving her 50 base ER. And now, I mean, you still stack attack when you attack. Wait, increase attack by 50% each time the caster attacks, and then yeah, okay. So every time you attack, you get 15% attack. Stacks up to 5 times, which is 70%, 75%, which is huge. Granted, she doesn't really have much ways to take turns, so it can take time. But she does get 12% increased duel, 15% increased duel. You have 3% baseline, that means you get 30% increased duel, which is huge. And now when you have more than 200 ER, you have 35% damage, 35% HP damage cap, which means your opponent needs 3 hits to kill her, which is kinda nice. And so I think she might see play. Like it's like a very, very sticky, very annoying unit. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. She does heal on S1, which is really nice, so that makes her like even more sticky. I think overall you're just gonna play something like, wait, let me show you. Where's she at? Like I wanna try something like, so she gets 50 ER baseline right now. So I'm pretty sure you want pen and like double torrent. Sure. What was I using for ring? I already forgot. Meh. Let's go with this, whatever. Critical, yes, critical, because you just want like full damage, right? Because your opponent, like, she's basically like she's similar to Tori, similar to Surin. Like she has damage cap, which means it's really annoying for your opponent to kill her. So you want her to be like low HP because they can't really do that much damage to her. Yes, perfect. Something like that, maybe. Something like that with less crit. I can't. Less crit chance. Oh, this. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I was thinking like something like this, most likely. Like you just go 50 ER. So she gets 50 ER baseline and she needs to be 200 ER. So you go 50, you build her with like 50 ER, so you're 100, and then you only play her in the 100 ER frenzy in RTA. So you're 200 ER, which is gonna, like, she's basically really, really hard to debuffs, and then you're like 4k 300, or like close to it. So you're gonna do a shit ton of damage, and you're gonna be very sticky because you're 7k HP. That means if you have like anything that gives shields in your team, she's basically gonna be unkillable. You just need to like be mindful of like extra damage, but now you have Maid on, you have FCC and you have Maid on top now. Like that's more than enough. You pick one or the other. You pick a mitigation knight. You make sure you have a mitigation knight, and then you're like really, really hard to kill. And then you just need something to like help you cycle, and you're gonna be really, I don't know, you're gonna do a lot of damage and be really annoying. I don't know if this is actually gonna be playable. Like keep that in mind, but like this is the idea behind the buff, and I feel like it's kinda, I mean, it sounds kinda fun, right? Like I'm definitely gonna try it at the very least. So yeah. But yeah, and then they're just changing like the rest of her kit to like work in PvP basically. So instead of like RS3 increasing damage into elite or bosses, it increases damage into everything. Yeah. Instead of being an execute, it's now damage dealt increases proportional to the target's max health, which is a lot better. Which makes her a lot better into tanks. We'll have to see how much damage she does, but overall I think it's an interesting change, and yeah, it's gonna be worth trying into the ER frenzy, right? But this is like, even if it does work, it's only gonna be like when you roll ER Frenzy. Keep that in mind. Like if you have to build 100 extra ER on her, it's just way too much. It's just way too much gear score overall. So because she's a 3-star, she doesn't have that like her base stats are pretty bad overall. So this can work because you basically get 100 extra gear score for free with one of the frenzies. If you don't, I don't think it's playable. Maybe with Christy, but like that's it. Yeah. Carrot. I mean, Carrot is like, for me, it's the same as what I said with like Surin, with like green Laika. Unless you give her Ignore ER, she's unplayable. Yeah, like dispel 2 buffs, great, but like give me Ignore ER and then I'm playing her. If you don't give me Ignore ER, I am not playing this unit. So, because like, I mean, I've tried to play her over the years, she's pretty fun, but like US3, you miss half of your debuffs, and then you lose. Yeah, maybe not. Okay, Elga, this is just PvE, so yeah, this is really just PvE. Make her better in PvE, very nice. Christy. Okay, Christy, Loki, I could see her being played in RTA. She's definitely a lot better in like Guild War and stuff. So they're changing her damage share to 30% from 20, which is, I mean, it's nice, right? It's a buff, very good. And then the main thing is like the ER sharing is now 100%. So yeah, like your backline unit is basically immune to debuffs, right? If they have any kind of ER to begin with. But even if they don't, you can build Christy like 300 ERs like fairly easily. And then like your backline is 300 ER. That's actually pretty crazy. Yeah, like I mean, she's definitely still gonna be a Guild War staple. She's gonna be in RTA. I'm not sure, but honestly, I think in the 100 ER frenzy, I could see her being quite strong. And overall, any unit that has like 100 ER, you put them behind her, they're basically immune to debuffs. So yeah, like I think it's pretty good buff overall. I mean, realistically, in my opinion, she should have been released like with this to begin with. Like I have no idea why they made it 50%. It's not like she was gonna be. It's not like she was gonna break the game. But yeah, I mean, finally they're doing it, so it's really nice. Good buff to Christy. And then Draco Plate. Crit damage doesn't change. We go from 16% damage reduction to 30% damage reduction. That's nice. I mean, it's basically a proof of valor with extra crit damage on top. So a good artifact. I'm not sure it's enough to make it C play, but we'll see. Like the thing is, warrior have like really strong artifacts overall. We have Sweet Miracle, we have Tachi, we have Tooth, we have Prayer of Solitude, we have, yeah, like we have a lot of stuff. So we also have Red Crowd artifact that gives you a soul. Like we have a lot of options, but you know, might see play. It's a nice buff. I'm not sure if it's enough, but it's a nice buff. Was definitely needed. So because the artifact is completely useless right now, so yeah, I think it's a decent buff. Unfading Memories. They're basically making it. How do I say this? Like it's basically the old Maid S2 into an artifact. So Maid S2 before the buff, every time you take a turn, you heal your team and you increase the ER of everyone by 20%. Well, now it's an artifact. So yeah, it's pretty nice overall. It's probably gonna be really good on stuff like Diane, but I'm not sure Diane is gonna see any play. On stuff like Maid, I'm not sure. But overall, pretty good artifact, just a lot of value, right? On anything that takes a lot of turns, you're gonna heal your team a lot. And yeah, it's pretty, just a good change overall. I don't know if it's gonna be enough again, but yeah, it's good. It's decent buff, decent enough buff. Alright. So yeah, that's it for the blind patch. Overall, Maid really good buff. I think she's gonna be played a lot. I'm definitely gonna try and play her a lot. We'll see if it actually, we'll see if it's gonna be good enough. But I think she has the most potential out of everyone here. LQC, I don't think it's gonna change anything. Opsing, I don't think it's gonna change anything unless they barely touch her multis, in which case she would be completely broken. So overall, I don't think it's gonna change anything because I think they're gonna nerf her multis by a lot. Fumyr, broken 4-5 pick, basically the new Tenebria DDR that you pick on 4-5. Laika, I don't think it's gonna change anything. Lorina, potential into the ER frenzy, that's it. Carrot changes nothing. Elga, buff for PvE. Christy, good buff overall. We'll see. I mean, it's good for Guild War. For RTA, we'll have to see. But a nice buff anyway. Like I'm happy they're doing that for Christy, because I feel like when she got her SC, she kinda got shafted. Like it really wasn't not a very strong SC. So yeah. And then Draco played good buff and Fading Memories good buff. I'm not sure if it's good enough to make them see play. But again, warriors have really strong artifacts. Soul Weavers have really strong artifacts. So it's really hard to like buff those, because if you want them to be played for sure, you have to like over buff them, and then it's not very nice either, because you end up with like, hey, we have an even more broken Garden Ice Crystal. Hey, we have an even more broken Sweet Miracle, right? Stuff like that. So I think those are good buffs. They're they're strong buffs, but they don't make those artifacts like completely broken. So yeah, I think good buffs overall. Hi. That's it for the review. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you have a great day. Peace.